Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast, brought to you by Outdoor Vitals, makers of Performance First ultralight gear, and the try before you buy, I don't know what you call that feature that they have on their website. Jeremiah, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, dude. Jeremiah Stringer here. I just want to say I've never seen this feature before ever. I've heard of people like doing this on Amazon when they buy their clothes, but apparently there is a try before you buy feature now running on Outdoor Vitals website, which we will link below. And you can try up to 4 items, fill your cart to find something you love. And then through an 8-day trial, you try it on in the comfort of your home, and the returns are easy. So you only have to pay for what you keep.
Well, that's a pretty cool option too, simply because one of the things about Outdoor Vitals is they serve a more athletic cut with a lot of their clothing. So this actually gives you the opportunity to make sure you get the right size, which I think is fantastic. Big kudos to Outdoor Vitals for being pretty much the most awesome company on the planet and for sponsoring this podcast. Jeremiah, let's talk a little bit about something crazy that happened to a friend of ours really recently.
Yeah. What'd you think about that text I sent?
Yeah, so I'm sitting in here in my house and I'm watching TV or something, and I think Jeremiah just froze up. But so basically Jeremiah sends me this text message, and in the text message it says Metro got attacked by a bear. And I'm thinking to myself, what is he talking about? Metro got attacked by a bear? And he gives me this link to a video, and I want to show you guys this video. If you're listening online, you'll be able to hear the video. But check this out, because this is kind of mind-blowing what happens here. Check this out.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god, dude. I just got attacked by a bear out here. Oh my god, dude. It's got a claw mark in it. Holy. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Good morning.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, it's up here too.
That's on my tent, dude. It attacked my tent.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because this is where all of a sudden they see the bear. So if you're watching this online right now, you should be able to see where I believe that Chris Coney actually gets up at one point here and goes chasing after the bear, which I don't know if that's the wisest thing in the world.
Yeah, they were loaded up with rocks.
Yeah, they were loaded up with rocks and chasing it. So let's see if we can see where Chris gets up. And then at one point, I think the bear charges him because he runs back from the woods.
Hey guys, wake up, guys.
Yeah, and it's the camera here, he's recording, but it's like first light outside.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's a black bear, I would assume. They're in the whites on the Appalachian Trail. So
Right where? Bear!
There's Chris right there. Well, he's turned into a mountain man, hasn't he?
yeah, the hair and beard.
Oh my goodness. So he's now walked into the woods, and he's I think he discovers the bear here real soon. There he comes, he's running. And everybody's yelling at him, "Don't run."
Get out here, bear. There he is.
Now, the truth is we don't ever really see the bear, but I'm going to fast forward a little bit in the video and bring it back up so you guys can see the damage this bear did to this Dyneema tent, because it's pretty wild what happened. Check this out.
Dude, what the dude, man. There goes the tent.
It's like a hyperlight tent.
Yep. And those are
Dyneema.
expensive.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot of Dyneema tape.
Yeah, and wait till you see the holes in this thing.
Bear print,
Yeah, they
dude.
get more. Oh, look. Boop, 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 boop.
All the punctures.
Oh my goodness.
So it looks like individual little claw punctures And then, oh, he's got his whole hand sticking through this hole here. 2 holes right next to you. They're just ripped this thing to
Oh, there's more than 2. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, there's
shreds, dude.
4 right there.
Uh,
Dude, he ate our tent,
wow.
man.
And I love the fact he says,
6-inch, 8-inch
dude, he ate our
tears.
tent. The big thing with this is, man, am I glad they're safe? I mean, people talk all the time about hammocks
yeah.
being bear burritos, but you got to think it's a lot easier to eat something when it's already on the ground. So these people in the tents, I'm glad they didn't become like bear takeout, you know, like because it sounded like he was trying to take them
Yeah.
out.
It looks like the way that they're set up, I've seen this in Vermont quite a bit. They build these platforms. A lot of the area, you know, it's very mountainous, so there's not great spots to set up. And they build these wood slatted platforms so that you could put a tent there and it's level and dry and up off the ground and everything. It looks like 2 tents were set up right next to each other. I wonder why the bear picked the Hyperlight. I couldn't really tell what the other tent was.
Well, think about it for a second. If you were going to eat food, would you rather eat food that's on the ground or that's on a plate?
Yeah.
I mean, they set it up on the wood slats. They just basically created a plate for the bear. They're like, here's your meal. We've done it fancy for you. Enjoy.
Yeah, man. I thought that was absolutely wild. And I'm really not sure what you're supposed to do in that situation, honestly. Like if you're the
I have
person
no idea.
sleeping, look like it was first light, everybody's starting to wake up. Bear comes in at that time. You're laying there in your tent, and then all of a sudden people are yelling. There's a bear on top of you clawing at the tent. And what can you do? You know, the tent's collapsed on you.
And I'm going to give Metro some props here, dude. He actually had the wherewithal to grab a camera.
Yeah, that's the true YouTuber in him, isn't it?
That is a killer YouTube. I wouldn't even think that. I'd be like freaking out, just wanting not to die. But no, he got that camera out. So big ups to Metro. I'll tell you what, we need to get him and Chris on here once they finish. Because I guarantee this isn't the only adventure they've had out there.
Yeah, I'm sure that this is just the start of the stories that they have. I was just looking at Metro's YouTube channel, and he's still on the Appalachian Trail. Looks like they have 500 miles left to go on the last video that he uploaded, and it's day 124. So the video, if anybody wants to check out the bear video and see the whole thing in its entirety, it's called Bear Attack in the White Mountains, Bear Witch Project. It kind of does give that Blair Witch Project.
It does with all the yeah. And he also did a live stream after that. So there's a live stream also. I haven't watched it yet. It's a 32-minute live stream, and I think he goes through and explains everything that happened. So if you get a chance, go check that out over on YouTube. His name is Metro on the Move, and he's one of the coolest guys, man. Georgia boy, right?
I can't remember if he's Alabama, Georgia, that whole crew. They're pretty deep in the South down there. Andy,
yeah,
he's a friend of ours, but usually whenever we meet up, we're going to some other state that none of us even live in. So I can't keep track of where they're all located.
Good dude. Jeremiah, so a crazy thing happened this past week.
Yeah. What you got cooking, man?
I made a video. I put a video on YouTube. Can you believe that? It actually happened.
I believe it, man.
It was 547 days between videos.
Took a little hiatus there.
Yeah, it took a pretty big hiatus. So, so if you guys are looking for a video of watching me do half of a day's trip, you should go check this video out. The big thing of it, though, is, and you know this because you live in Kentucky right now, too. Kentucky's gotten more rain this summer than I believe any summer in the past 30 or 40 years through July and June.
Yeah, it's been pouring. I've been trying to get out to the lake, get out to the kayak. Like last week, my wife and I went down to the lake to swim, took the baby for his second time ever. Yeah. We were out there for 50 minutes and just got drenched. Then it started lightning, so we had to get out and go home.
Yeah, so I took my buddy Josh. He's a guy who plays drums when we play together at the church sometimes, but he came out with me, and he had messed his ankle up when he was in Gatlinburg a few weeks ago. So we were gonna do Indian Staircase originally, but he was like, I don't know about my ankle climbing up that today. So instead, we just did Oxear Ridge, and then we hiked up to a really cool campsite on the opposite side of Oxear Ridge. But we got there at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I knew we had to get on the trail because at 5:30, according to the radar, we were gonna get destroyed by the rain. And when I say destroyed, I mean destroyed by the rain. So we get to the end of the first day's hike, or the first part of the ridge walk across Oxear Ridge. And I looked at him and said, listen, man, we got an hour. We got 2 miles to back to the trailhead and the vehicle. And it is supposed to be like downpour. We're talking like when you look on the radar and you see the big red glob, there was a red glob coming our way. And it was going to be there right around 5:30. I said, if we can hightail it back, I think we can beat this thing. And he's
I'm
like,
a little bit confused. So, you all were going to Red River Gorge, right? Your
yeah,
initial plan was to do Indian Staircase, popular route, and then you swiveled to Oxear because of the ankle.
yeah,
Oxear Ridge, more meandering, very scenic, but not
yeah.
too challenging. So, whenever you headed out, so you parked at the trailhead,
We parked at the
and then
trailhead and we left our backpacks in the vehicle. So we
okay,
each
so
carried
it's
a
a
bottle
little
of water with
trail.
us. We each carried a bottle
Was
of
it like
water with us. And we
okay?
decided we're going to hike it out and hike back, then grab our backpacks and then hike up to our campsite.
Okay. So were you just seeing some of the sights for a little while before it was going to start downpouring?
Yeah, yeah. And with his ankle hurting, it was better for him not to carry a backpack on top of everything. We just figured it'd be
Okay.
better on his ankle. So we just figured we'll hike it out and then we'll hike back. Well, then we realized we got an hour to get back. And if we don't get back in an hour, we're going to get soaked. And so I
No
looked at him.
rain
I said, I basically looked at him and I go, no, we didn't bring rain jackets. What are you talking about? That makes sense. So I just looked at him and I go, hey, dude, I know your ankle hurts, but we need to get back or we're going to be like drowned rats. I go, are you cool with hightailing it back? He goes, yeah, man, let's go. And it's now I want to throw something else in there on top of this. It is 86 degrees out and 90% humidity.
Yeah, that's a tough
So
one.
hiking becomes like twice as hard when it gets like that. So, and we're both not skinny people. So, we're going to give it our best. And so we just take off and we start hiking and we're going and we're going and going. And finally we hit this one hill and we get to the top of it and we just go, breathe, stop, breathe. We're going to rest for a second here. Okay, let's go. And so we kept going and then we got completely demoralized by a bunch of high school kids that passed us and acted like they weren't even breathing hard. But we get back. I think it was like 20 after 5 when we get back. So we did it in like 45. Well, we did it in 50 minutes. So we hiked back. We got to the trailhead, jumped in my car, got on the road in less than 5 minutes. We did not even get to the bridge at the end of the road there before the storm hit. And it just started pouring the rain. And so we drove to Miguel's. We got some dinner because we were like, well, shoot, man, I don't want to walk up to the campsite in this crap. And he didn't either.
Yeah.
So we went to Miguel's and we got dinner. And then as soon as we got up at dinner, we looked and the rain had passed. So like, let's get back to the campsite. So we got back to the campsite, started getting everything set up. And as we're getting things set up, we look on the radar again and there's another storm coming. And so we're like, oh, dude, is this thing going to hit us? And if you watch the video that I put out, you can see me going, oh, no, here it comes. And you can see the rain bands in the distance coming towards us. And then the next shot is me going, oh, I think it's going to go around us. It looks like it's going that way. The wind's blowing this way. I think we're going to be fine. This is awesome. And the very next video is like, nope, I'm wrong. We got to get under the tarps. We're getting wet. And so luckily we got everything set up and we just sat in our hammocks under tarps for like 45 minutes while this storm, not even really a storm, just a lot of rain came down. And then after that, it's like the clouds parted and it was beautiful. And I actually have a couple pictures of what the night looked like. Do you see the stars in that picture?
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, you can see the actual photographs that we're looking there. What constellation is that?
Oh, I don't know. That's off to
Oh.
be west. So if you're looking west, I believe, or is that east? I don't even
I
remember
can't.
now. I can't even remember now. But I remember the clouds just disappeared, and we could see almost every star in the sky. And then I got this really great picture of my buddy Josh. This is before the clouds had gone completely away. Um, but we just sat out there for probably hours. I mean, literally for hours, and just sat and enjoyed one of the most beautiful nights I'd ever seen in my entire life. Um,
So is that lightning off in the distance, or is that the sunset?
heat lightning.
Heat lightning. Okay. I started to say, well, if that's the sun setting over there, then we could definitely tell what direction. But after seeing the picture of him still sitting there in the clouds, I thought maybe that's lightning off on the
No,
horizon.
that's actually, I believe it was south that I was looking there. That was south. Now that you mention it, because the sun, yeah, it's south. I had to remember where the sun set at, but yeah, it was the south. So I was aiming south of the gorge.
So were you all able to do the entire Oxyar Ridge loop, or did you go out one way and then backtrack that same way?
We didn't do the loop. We did it out and back because of his ankle. That the hills coming up from the bottom of the gorge. Plus, the bottom half of that loop is the most boring section of hiking on the planet, and there's nothing to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather walk back the ridge and still have the sights on the way back. So
Yeah, that's where all the gyms are.
yeah, it's one of those things. If we needed water, going down would have been smart, but we had water at the truck, so we were good to go. So we didn't even worry about that.
Now, one thing that can be some free entertainment sometimes when you're on a trip is, depending on experience levels, seeing people's reactions when it comes to, oh, in the distance, I see that rain coming toward. It's coming. It's time to batten down the hatches.
Yeah.
What steps 1 through 5 to get us prepped? What are you going to do? And I always feel bad. We've been dissing tents a little bit this episode, but the streak continues. The people in the tents, man, they just crawl in there and sit and hopefully not get flooded as the water comes down. And if you're stuck in there for like, you said 45 minutes, but imagine it's like 4 or 5 hours. You're like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
what am I going to do? I guess I'm going to take a nap or play on my phone or something.
All I know is in a hammock, I can sit back in it like it's a recliner and relax, or I can set up a chair under my tarp and relax, or I can lay down and relax. I don't have to be crouched over or making my back hurt like you have to in a tent.
I bet there's some great things that you're missing though.
What do you mean?
I bet.
What am I missing?
Well, with the tent, well, I don't know. I'm in the hammock, so
I was gonna say
from
I've been in the rain in a hammock in a tent. I did the entire Sheltoe Trace with a tent, and I could tell you point blank, I had a lot of days, like a lot of nights where I just had to sit in a tent forever, and it sucked. Like my back hurt because you can't really. It's not like having a chair. I can't set a chair up in my tent. You know what I mean? Like, so it was. I'll take the hammock any day in those conditions every time. Plus, you could invite your friends over. They could bring a chair over and hang out with you. Can't do that in a tent. It'd be really tight.
One really awesome thing too about the hammock, dude, and I didn't know this until last Christmas when my wife got me a little table. Putting the table outside your hammock and then sitting up in the hammock looking down, that's top notch, bro.
Dude, it's the stuff.
You could do, yeah. You could sit there. You could have somebody bring their chair over. Y'all could sit there and hang out and chill. You can play cards. You have a table. You can cook, make coffee, whatever you need to do.
It's one of the most relaxing things in the world, man. It's beautiful. But yeah, so that ended up being just a really nice trip. We ended up hiking like 7 miles. It wasn't a ton of mileage, but it was 7 miles, and it was good. We had fun. I think we got over 1,000 feet of elevation gain, which I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was less than that. And then when I looked at the profile at the end, it was like, no, we did like 1,100 feet of elevation total. So that was kind of cool.
So how did he do with the gear and the rain? I don't know what his experience level is.
He's new. He's newer. He's got one of those mock hammocks, the ones that are kind of like a recliner, like a giant recliner.
Yeah.
And it weighs about 7 pounds, I think. But he loves it, dude. He loves that hammock, and it did great. And it didn't rain the whole night. Here was the only negative. Really, I would say the rain was actually kind of fun. It's kind of fun trying to dodge rain. I don't know. It's a good sport. But the thing that made it the whole thing difficult was the heat. Overnight, it never got under 74 degrees. When I woke up in the morning, it was 76 degrees and 86% humidity.
So you slept without a top quilt on,
Oh,
basically.
yeah, I never put the top quilt on the whole night. Absolutely did not. And then we hiked like little over a mile out to the vehicle the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and soaking wet. And you've hiked that hike. It's not like it's a hard hike, but we were
Mm-hmm.
soaked because it was such high humidity. So yeah, if it wasn't for the humidity and the heat, it would have almost been perfect because there's a little bit of adventure of hiding from the rain and trying to prevent getting soaked, and then getting to see some really cool sights, and then having a good campsite where you get to watch the stars, and it was just it was a good trip.
We need like some kind of backpacking dictionary or something, because I feel like, so you have like the word backpacking, right? And it is an umbrella term for so many
Yeah, it gets used
different
for a
things. I'll give
lot
you a
of
few
things.
examples. We started the episode, yeah, like backpacking across a country, like doing the Camino de Santiago, or backpacking the Appalachian Trail, like we started the episode with talking about this bear attack, or like you did, you went out, done some day hiking, and then backpacked in a mile or two to a campsite. Um, they're just there's just a million ways to do it. I wish that we had more terminology to, be specific on the different trips. Um, I got to tell you, man, I've been living through the heat as well, so I've been avoiding
Yeah.
doing a lot of backpacking. I think well, long story short, Jonathan Woodall Trails is his YouTube. He's he's basically left a couple kayaks here at the house, and so I've been taking those out as much as I can instead of hitting the trail.
Mhm.
And we took a little adventure this week, dude. Um, if you heard last week's episode, we are talking about having Tim Buckley on, backpacking with Buckley, but I didn't realize Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, him and some of his friends were headed out to Montana, and Buckley was meeting them. Now I
Oh,
couldn't
that's
go.
cool.
Yeah, normally this would be the kind of trip I would go on. All of you fly out together, and it's a super cool, fun trip. But I couldn't get away for, like, I don't know how many nights that they were going. I think like 3 or 4 nights on trail plus a couple travel days, and I couldn't get away from the house for that
Yeah.
long. Plus, I don't have the money to buy multiple airplane tickets and all the things that go along
Oh, please
there.
quit it. Everybody knows you're loaded.
That's what it is. So anyway, so Buckley, he's out there with them right now as we speak. They're on trail in Montana, unreachable. And so I said, okay, there's only one guy left that I normally would backpack with in this group that was going to Montana, because I would love to be on the trip with them. But one guy had to stay home, and I had to stay home too. And I said, well, let's do something then. Both of us are stuck here. His
And you
knee
just
is kind
happen to live in the same town.
of well, no, this is a different guy.
Oh,
So
okay.
not
I got you.
so another buddy that I know through Jason is Scott, and I've been trying to get together on a trip with Scott. Last year we took a trip, and Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, broke his ankle while kayaking. So, and I've done several trips with Scott and Jason, and a lot of these guys that you've heard us talk about on this show before. And Scott, like I said, right now he's injured, so he can't backpack, but he can kayak. And Jonathan, I have one of his kayaks. I actually have both of them, but I thought, well, we could use both of those. Plus, Scott has a kayak, and we could all three go, since Scott is still stuck here in Kentucky with me and Jonathan. So we put together a trip, dude. None of us could go to Montana. We said, forget your Montana. Let's go have some fun on the Big South Fork. So we kept watching the weather. And, you're dodging rain. I try to dodge it too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
whenever you're, depending on the river and the water levels, and I'm a total rookie at this, so don't take any of this as advice. But I'm just telling you what happened. So with the rain, there's certain water levels and flow rates that you need depending on the section of river you're going to do. So we picked Big South Fork, but then the water levels were too high for this whole range of 10 days that we could go on. And Jonathan didn't think he could go. So then he had a few days off work. So we're like, all right, well, let's go to this other place. So we decided to go to Cumberland River. And then we got everything ready, bought all of our food, was going to be out for 3 days, 2 nights. And then we said, let's check in the morning, 6 a.m., just to make sure everything is still ship shape. And what do you know? The place we were going to put in, Williamsburg, Kentucky, got 6 inches of rain overnight. So the water levels were like super dangerously high.
Wow, that's a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain.
Yeah, and it's still flooded there on that section of the river. So we couldn't do Big South Fork. And then if we didn't go those days, Jonathan couldn't go at all because he has to work. You know, he's just got a regular job, so he's working Monday through Friday. So Jonathan, he come over at 7, 8 a.m. the day we're supposed to leave. And so we sit down here at the computer that I'm working at right now and put together an entirely different trip, entirely different river. We hit Rockcastle River, and me and him, Scott says, I'm going to wait and try to hit Big South Fork next week. So he said, okay, let's hit Rockcastle River. So Jonathan and I, me, pretty much total rookie, we headed out on Rockcastle River. So if you're watching the show right now, you can see we got a picture here. I'm using the girl kayak. That's Jonathan's wife's kayak, the teal one. His is like,
is that a fishing kayak? It looks like a fishing kayak.
Yeah, it's outfitted for fishing. I got a couple of poles in there, and my whole intention for this trip was to go out, have fun, fish as much as I can, and, you know, just be around friends. And the good thing about the kayaking is I could hop off in the water anytime. So we got down there, we put in where you saw that first picture, and we were headed to do 17 miles overnight. And we started fishing. I caught one small bass. You're looking at the picture now. It looks larger because I'm holding it close to the camera. But as you can see from the size of my hand, this is a fairly small bass. Jonathan, he done a little bit better on the fishing. I think he officially caught 3, unofficially caught 4. Because
so are those rock bass?
I can't tell if that's a rock or a smallmouth. That may be a smallmouth that he's got there.
Okay.
But he caught a largemouth that was pretty small. He caught that may be a red eye actually. But anyway, go back just one picture real quick. So anyway, one more thing about Jonathan fishing. So unofficially caught 4 fish because if you see where we're at in the water there, he's holding up the fish, but we went on down just a little bit and hopped out and cooled off. The water temperature felt great. And as we were getting out and moving around near rapids, literally a fish jumped out, a bass jumped out of the water and into Jonathan's kayak there. So that's why I say unofficially he caught 4, officially he caught 3. One of them was snagged, by the way, which still counts, I think. All right, if you'll head to the next picture there, John. So this picture, I took a selfie of me and Jonathan under my tarp, because we're headed down the river and we heard some thunder around us, and then it started lightning, and we said, well, let's get out of this river. And then it got really, really dark out. And I was like, feels like nighttime. It's definitely about to pour. You know, the wind's picking up, the air is cool, and then it starts to sprinkle. And Jonathan's a few hundred yards ahead of me, looking for a place to pull off. And then it starts pouring, and both of us get caught in this torrential downpour. So we pulled off there and hung out, had a snack. I set up my tarp. He helped me with it, and we hid out for about an hour out of the storm, and then had great weather, you know, the rest of the time. Let's see. I think I might have one more picture there. Yeah, that's what the weather looked like the rest of the trip, man.
That's beautiful. That looks nice.
Yeah, a little selfie of me wearing my Outdoor Vitals hoodie there, you know.
Oh,
keep
yeah.
the
Is that
sun
the
off
turn?
of me.
Is that the turn hoodie?
That's the turn hoodie. And Jonathan, he got a little sunburn. He was shirtless most of the time. I was wearing the turn hoodie. And I reapplied sunscreen every 25 minutes. He Well, he didn't reapply sunscreen.
Well,
That's why.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. In his defense, you are a redhead. Like you'll
Yeah.
die if you don't do that. So, like for
Well,
those of us who aren't
he
redheads, we don't take as much care with our sunscreen as a redhead would. So I can understand why maybe he didn't feel as much caution about it as you would.
Yeah, and he said, I didn't think I'd meet somebody that made me feel tan because he's fair like me, but I'm the man.
That's
Let's-
hilarious. That's hilarious, man.
A couple other things I wanted to tell you about this trip, man. First of all, I didn't know there's apps just like for backpacking. There's apps for kayaking, and I don't know
Right.
very many, but he showed me one called the River app, and that's literally the name, River app, all one word. And you can monitor the water levels, the CFS, and everything. Save them on there. And one other thing, dude. Actually, two. Poop and food. So the food, we had this whole 3-day trip planned out, and I like to plan my food in a grid, like breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and then sometimes snack. So
Chocolate. I believe chocolate for Jeremiah is usually at least one course of the meal.
it is, yeah, sometimes 2 courses. So we had this food to choose from, and so he had some deer burger mixed with pork fat and cooked us up some delicious deer burgers over the fire the first night.
Nice.
Or at least that was the plan for the first night. I think the second night we were supposed to bring our own. And then he was also going to fix us breakfast. So I said, yeah, count me. If I'm doing wintertime backpacking, typically I'll make biscuits and then I'll wrap them up in like aluminum foil and take them on trail with me and then heat them up over the fire. He actually cooks his biscuits over the fire. Anytime I've tried to do it, I burned them. So that's why I pre-cook them.
Yeah.
But he got these little mini biscuits and he said, dude, when you're at the store, get me a can of gravy. I said, a can of gravy? He said, yep. I said, what kind? He said, it don't matter as long as it's got the pull top. So I got him a can of gravy, dude. Luckily, I had these gloves. I take just cheap work gloves for gathering firewood and processing wood.
Yeah.
And so he used them while he's cooking and stuff. Dude,
So did
he
he
had
just
this
heat it
gravy.
in the can?
Luckily, I had those gloves. He's pulling them off. He popped the top. It go gravy spraying out, man. But it all turned out okay. It didn't explode.
Well, good. Good.
Not hurt anybody. I was staying clear of. So it's just bacon and egg and biscuits and gravy over the fire the morning of.
That's a beautiful morning.
Yeah, which meant that immediately afterward I had to poop. But we're on a sandy beach. So I went up in the woods, man. It's the easiest cat hole I ever dug. And then what was amazing is I like to bring his powdered soap with me. So as soon as I got done pooping, head straight to the river and wash up, man. Took me a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bath there with powdered soap. Stay
Yep.
clean out there.
Yeah, that's perfect. Sounds like it was an incredible trip.
We had fun, man. I'm going to try to head back out. Jonathan's back at work, so I was going to head out with Scott and do this big South Fork trip this week. But I
Well-
just checked. Water levels are on the rise. It's not looking good. I think we're going to end up at the lake instead and just fish.
Yeah, fishing, regardless, fishing's fun. So who cares? Yeah, as long as you're with a buddy and you're having fun.
Yeah, and with the kayaks, you can kind of troll around the edge of the lake. Normally if you go down there, you're locked to the bank if you don't have a boat. So
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, hey, since we're having some internet difficulties and all that fun stuff, I would say this is a good time to say, let's figure out what we're going to be doing here next week. Is there a possibility that we can maybe get our buddy on here next week, Mr. Tim Buckley?
I think the chances are good. As soon as he's done with the Montana trip and is reachable, I'm going to get a hold of him and try to secure him.
That would be incredible. I can't wait to talk to Tim. He is such a good dude, man. He's also the spokesmodel for Hilltop Packs.
Yeah, shout out Ben McMillan. I don't think he's dropping it just yet, but he has a book coming out
Yeah.
for backpack mistakes, so that'd be
I-
something cool.
I sent mine in. I know he contacted a lot of us and said, "Hey, can you give me one of your biggest mistakes?" And so mine is definitely there.
Yeah, I sent one in as well. We'll see if it makes the book.
We'll
But,
see. We'll see
yeah,
if we're good enough for it.
yeah, Tim Buckley, great employee of Ben, great representative. And if we can get him on here, I'd love to hear about his experience. I mentioned this in the past, but the fires out there at the Grand Canyon, and he
Yeah.
lost some stuff in the lodge that he was working at. So it'd be interesting to hear.
And it's just good because he's a great guy to talk to. So it'll be good to have him on next week. So for myself and for Jeremiah, the king of Kentucky backpacking and now kayaking, thank you guys for tuning in to the Backpacking Podcast. We will catch you guys on the next one.